Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference.
Oh, I love Robert Frost. Is that his anthology of poetry?
Nope, an economics book.
Economics? Oh, we're talking about opportunity costs, aren't we?
Why? Have you got something better to do?
Vic is a food server at an upscale restaurant. He gets a call from his friend, Ben, who has an extra ticket to the My Chemical Romance reunion tour. Though Ben paid $60 for the ticket, he's willing to sell it to Vic for $40. Since it's his second favorite band, Vic would happily pay twice that. So he gets someone to cover his shift and they split an Uber to the concert. Unfortunately, Vic ends up missing almost half the show waiting in the beer line, where he spends another $20. And the seats aren't even that great. As he cranes his neck to see the stage, Vic can't help but calculate how much this mediocre night cost him.
Before you bother doing the math, you might notice there's something missing. The work shift Vic gave up to go to the concert. Since he typically makes about $150 in wages and tips on a Friday night, he would actually be $220 richer if he had skipped the concert and gone to work instead.
This is an example of what economists call opportunity cost, which is typically defined as the benefit that is missed or given up by choosing one alternative over another. And it doesn't just apply to money. If you decide to eat at a Chinese restaurant instead of a Mexican one, you might enjoy the Kung Pao chicken, but it's at the cost of not enjoying a plate of enchiladas.
Life is full of such forks in the road. You and your wallet can't be in two places at one time, so we're constantly faced with decisions about where to put our time and money. The concept of opportunity cost encourages you to look far down both paths and compare all the ramifications of each option. This may seem like common sense to you, but you'd be surprised how often it's overlooked when making financial decisions.
For example, Angela is deciding whether or not to take out loans to go to college. She does some research and finds that the median yearly income gap between high school and college graduates is around $17,500. Even if her loan payments are $7,000 a year, well above average, she'd still be way ahead. She decides to take out the loans.
While cleaning out his parents' cellar, Ted finds an old bottle of wine, and his parents let him keep it for his trouble. It turns out to be a pretty expensive vintage, so that night Ted and his boyfriend enjoy a fancy bottle of Cabernet with their dinner for free.
Pamela is looking for a place to rent and finds a great deal on a nice house with a big backyard. The catch? It's outside the public transportation system, so she'll have to lease a car to commute to work. But she calculates that even including car payments, gas, and insurance, she'll still pay less than if she lived downtown.
In each of these cases, the decision makers have failed to properly weigh the opportunity costs of their choices. If Angela goes to college, she may make more money down the road, but she will miss out on 4 years of salary and job experience that she would have gotten with a full-time job. That cab may seem free to Ted, but it's actually costing him $100 not to sell it. And Pamela has overlooked the amount of time she'll spend in the car, which she could otherwise use to relax, pursue hobbies, or make more money. To be clear, that doesn't mean their decisions were necessarily wrong, just that they didn't have a full picture of what they were giving up.
Opportunity costs are especially relevant to people in business or government, where shareholders and political opponents are more than happy to imagine how that money could have been better used. If an executive wants to spend $10 million on a marketing campaign, he has to show that not only will it return a profit, but that it will return more of a profit than any other use of that money, like renovating a factory or developing a new product.
If a city council wants to build a rec center, it's not enough to say it will benefit the community. It has to create a larger benefit than if the money were used for any other purpose, like education or housing.
Opportunity costs are also a key concept behind specialization, which means focusing on a smaller scope of production to increase efficiency. For instance, Elon owns 2 factories. Factory A can produce 50 electric cars in one day, and Factory B can produce 40. But if they switch production over to his new Cybertruck, both factories have the same daily output, 20. This means that every Cybertruck Factory A makes comes at an opportunity cost of 2.5 electric cars not made. Elon decides to have Factory B produce all his Cybertrucks because the opportunity cost is lower.
Even if you're not an auto executive or a city council member, taking a moment to weigh opportunity costs before a decision will make you a more competent CFO of your own life. It's also a good reminder that money is fungible. Every dollar you spend in one place could theoretically be spent anywhere else.
But it's important to remember that opportunity costs refer to all benefits, not just financial ones. The experience of college life, the comfort of a spacious house, and the emotional satisfaction of treating yourself are hard to put on a balance sheet, but the benefits are no less real.
Even Vic had no way of knowing that night would be a bust. If he had skipped the show and worked his shift instead, he might have ended up kicking himself over the opportunity cost of missing what he imagined to be the greatest concert of all time.
You can see how thinking too much about opportunity costs can send you down a rabbit hole of infinite possibilities and regrets. You can go crazy trying to weigh every conceivable pro and con of every conceivable decision.
It's good to remember that big life decisions are often more like forks in the road than a vast, infinite ocean. You're usually only deciding between a manageable number of options, and it's always best to face forward, not second guess where you've been. And that's our 2 cents.
Thanks to our patrons for keeping 2 cents financially healthy. Click the link in the description to become a 2 cents patron.
Hello, my name is Permatasari from Class B Morning Semester 4. I want to air interpretation in this video. Biaya peluang memang sangat relevan bagi orang-orang dalam bisnis atau perusahaan pemerintah, di mana pemegang saham dan lawan politik senang membayangkan keuntungan yang akan didapatkan. Uang memang bisa digunakan ke hal yang lebih baik. Contohnya saja seperti seorang eksekutif ingin menghabiskan 10 juta dolar dalam kampanye pemasaran. Maka dia harus menunjukkan bahwa tidak hanya akan menghasilkan keuntungan, tetapi juga akan menghasilkan lebih banyak keuntungan yang akan didapatkan dari berbagai aspek. Contohnya saja dalam penggunaan lain dari uang itu bisa digunakan untuk merenovasi pabrik atau mengembangkan suatu produk baru untuk perusahaan tersebut. Contohnya saja jika Dewan Kota ingin membangun suatu perusahaan, itu saja tidak cukup untuk mengatakan itu akan bermanfaat bagi masyarakat. Maka Dewan Kota juga harus menciptakan banyak manfaat yang lebih besar daripada uang yang akan digunakan untuk tujuan lainnya. Contohnya saja seperti peluang pendidikan atau perumahan juga merupakan konsep kunci di balik spesialisasinya, yang berarti berfokus pada lingkungan produksi yang lebih kecil untuk meningkatkan efisiensi. Misalnya saja, Elon memiliki 2 pabrik. Pabrik A dapat memproduksi 50 mobil listrik dalam satu harinya, dan pabrik B dapat menghasilkan 40 mobil listrik. Tetapi, jika pabrik ini mengalihkan produksi ke pabrik barunya, maka kedua pabrik ini memiliki pengeluaran harian yang sama, yaitu sebesar 20. Ini membuktikan bahwa setiap mobil listrik pabrik A membuat peluang dan kesempatan bagi pabrik lainnya. Biaya yang dikeluarkan dari pabrik tersebut sekitar 2,5 mobil listrik tidak dibuat sepanjang pabrik topi memproduksi suatu barang yang akan terus memproduksi topi yang akan digunakan. Pabrik hanya akan memproduksi semua truk cybernya karena biaya peluang dan penjualannya lebih rendah. Bahkan jika kita bukan eksekutif mobil atau anggota dewan, maka dari itu kita harus luangkan waktu sejenak untuk menghitung peluang yang akan kita dapatkan dalam berbisnis itu seperti apa. Sebelum keputusan yang akan membuat kita rugi, maka dari itu menjadi CFO yang lebih kompeten dalam hidup kita sendiri. Ini juga merupakan pengingat yang baik untuk kita bahwa uang dapat dipertukarkan, serta kita bisa menghabiskan uang di suatu tempat secara teoritis, dapat pula dihabiskan di tempat lainnya. Tetapi penting untuk diingat bahwa biaya peluang dapat mengacu pada sebuah manfaat, bukan hanya saja dari segi finansial saja. Banyak manfaat lainnya seperti pengalaman untuk kehidupan kampus, serta kenyamanan rumah yang luas. Dan terakhir, kepuasan emosional dalam memperlakukan diri sendiri. Sulit untuk dimasukkan ke dalam manfaat yang tidak kalah nyata, tapi ini merupakan bukti nyata. Bahkan, Vic tidak tahu bahwa malam itu menjadi kegagalan jika ia melewatkan pertunjukan dan bekerja keras sebagai gantinya. Dia mungkin akan mengalami kerugian karena kehilangan peluang yang ia sia-siakan. Apa yang dia bayangkan sebagai peluang terbesar sepanjang masanya. Kita dapat melihat bagaimana terlalu banyak memikirkan biaya peluang dapat membuat kita jatuh ke lubang kelinci dengan kemungkinan akan berujung pada penyesalan yang tak terbatas tentunya. Kita bisa menjadi gila menanggapi dan menunggu setiap pro kontra yang masuk dari orang yang mungkin setiap pro kontranya itu menjadi keputusan kita untuk mengambil suatu tindakan. Ada baiknya memang untuk mengingatkan bahwa keputusan besar dalam hidup seringkali menjadi frogs di jalan yang luas dan lautan yang tak terbatas. Maka dari itu, kita hanya bisa memutuskan di antara sejumlah opsi yang dapat dikelola, dan itu menjadi pertimbangan yang berat untuk kita memutuskan satu opsi tersebut, mana jalan yang akan kita pilih. Maka, lebih baiknya kita hidup untuk menghadap ke depan, tidak menebak-nebak apa yang akan terjadi di masa depan. Itulah pesan dari kami. Terima kasih atas rekan kami. Tetap menjaga kesehatan dan finansial Anda. Klik deskripsi di bawah untuk menjadi bagian dari kami. Thank you.